Oh! Holy mackerel. Feeling tired, feeling super, or just feeling shocked? Today we are breaking down and reacting to, from what I am told, are the luckiest people on the planet. All right, let's dive right in. Nice.
This guy failed his trick, but who cares when the landing is this spectacular?
Oh, wow. We get worried about people who get into bike accidents where, like, one, you slam your groin or your genitals right into the stem of the bike, okay? You can cause hematomas, ruptures of your scrotum. You can cause a significant amount of bleeding to your testicles. You can also fracture your pelvis. And the biggest thing we worry about is something called an open book fracture of your pelvis, where it actually literally opens up as a book, and you can actually have significant amount of bleeding. They have devices that EMS might use, but at the hospital, if we suspect there's an open book fracture and we're worried about bleeding into the pelvis area, we'll actually wrap a sheet around the pelvis and actually tie it shut just to help get it back in anatomical alignment.
Didn't quite manage the backflip, but what a great play.
If he didn't put his hands out well enough, he could have smacked his face right on that ledge and could bust a tooth. The tooth might be going flying. In that situation, if you can't find the tooth because it fell in the water, then you'll actually have to get a fake replacement tooth in the future. You can also fracture your nose, your maxilla, which is the upper part here. Unlikely that you're going to fracture your mandible, which is the lower bone here, but it could be a possibility.
And this girl suddenly discovered her inner gymnast.
And all I see is ankle fractures, ankle sprains. There's something called a Maisonneuve fracture, and it has to do with an ankle fracture that actually then spirals up the fibula, and you actually have a proximal or a fibula head fracture as well, because the energy goes all the way up. So anytime a doctor is examining somebody's ankle for fracture, we will probably grab onto the proximal part of the fibula just to make sure that there's no tenderness up there concerning for a Maisonneuve fracture. Cartwheels are actually kind of hard to do. How many of you out there can actually do a cartwheel or a flip? Let me know in the comments. Oh,
what are all these tricksters hoping for?
Why? Holy smokes, that was so close. So if you fall down like 15 feet or say 5 meters at this type of angle, you're gonna reach out, you're gonna try to brace yourself. You're gonna land weird, you're probably gonna land on some concrete steps. Head injury, fractures, intracranial bleeding, cervical spine injuries, permanently paralyzed. You could even die. Be placed on a ventilator for the rest of your life. Like, what are we doing here? Do you get paid for this? I don't even know. But it doesn't seem like a risk-benefit ratio is correct here. Whoa,
and this guy doesn't even need a motorcycle to overtake his opponents.
So very common in this type of sports, protective gear that they actually wear, full leather suits. They actually have sliders on their different points of contact, and sometimes there's actually gyroscopic airbags in the jackets themselves, so if it senses that you're falling, it'll actually explode almost like an airbag within your jacket. The biggest thing is you want to get away from the bike itself, because the bike could flip on you and cause more trauma. This guy looks super fine, but again, you might catch and you might flip, turn head over heels, and then lead to 8 million bones fractured. I've seen people in these suits come to the emergency department totally fine, get checked out. I've seen people who have died. I've seen people who have a lot of broken bones, and then even just from head injury, something called global transient amnesia.
And surfer Francisco Porchela used his fall to his advantage and conquered one of the heaviest waves in the world.
You got to be really careful surfing. You know, we don't see too many injuries. I have a colleague who busted his vertebrae, so that's something you have to be worried about. You have to worry about what's underneath, obviously the creatures that live in the water. But again, you even have to worry about your surfboard, because the fins on the back, if you fall off your board, they can actually come and hit you and cause really bad lacerations. And then obviously you're getting turned over. You got to be careful about drowning, knowing which direction that you're facing, because it's like a washing machine. You're getting turned around in the wave as it crashes. The biggest thing is you learn is not to panic. You got to make sure you just kind of roll with it and just protect your head.
We couldn't show you the next moment if he jumped 1 second later.
Oh, whoa. You would be landing headfirst onto a solid object, and your arms are out to try to brace, but they will probably give way, and then you're going to hit your face or your head in such a way that you definitely would snap your vertebrae in your neck, or at least cause significant amount of injury to where you may have spinal cord injury. You may have just hopefully just like a strain, and maybe just have all the muscles kind of be super painful and tight, like a bad workout, like a whiplash. But it could be such a spectrum of injury. Oh, there goes some glaciers falling. Whoa, run it out. You got to be really careful. The unpredictability of nature, obviously. You got to also think hypothermia in that situation. So even if they're able to get away, if they get splashed with cold water and then they're still cold, you increase the risk of getting hypothermia. Got to get wet clothes off, get somewhere warm, and slowly warm back up. Whoa!
Trampolines can be dangerous.
It can knock you out, knock you unconscious. Hopefully that's all it is. But again, could cause you to have significant amount of trauma to anywhere that this thing hits you in the body. Normal trampoline injuries that I see in the emergency department are definitely not like this. They are more like the ankle fracture, ankle dislocation. Sometimes knee dislocations occur. Sometimes maybe a wrist if you jump too high and you landed on like a different surface.
And this guy miraculously avoided being struck by lightning.
What? If that lightning hit right there, that is a DC, that's a direct current type of energy and will cause a big blast injury, potentially cardiac arrest. You'll have different burns to your skin. They're actually called Lechtenberg burns, basically. But you have to worry about rhabdomyolysis, renal failure, muscle breakdown, burning of your nerves. This guy got super lucky. Oh! Holy mackerel. Luckily the blades are not that sharp, but they are heavy, so you'll split your skin open, could cause a fracture, could cause you to pass out. If that happens, you obviously come to the emergency department. We will probably get an image of your brain or head or wherever it hits you. We get a CT scan. X-rays are not that beneficial in this circumstance. And then if the skin is busted open, we will actually sew it back up.
This is what happens when you buy a JCB from a clown.
Oh! So this thing is massive. It's the size of this guy. Gonna be crazy heavy. Then you have the metal of the wheel itself there. If this were to hit him, you're definitely gonna get knocked over. You're gonna get whiplash. You're gonna fall, smack your head on the ground. But if it hits a direct contact you and then runs you over, it could cause a lot of injuries. We get people who come into the emergency department. They don't get run over by these tires, but they do get run over. Most of the time, actually, there's no fractures, surprisingly. But obviously, we're gonna get x-rays anyway to make sure. Whoa! Look at
soup spilled. Chef level,
wow.
master.
You think, is that hot soup and could that cause burns? So we see a lot of people that come to the emergency department with first degree, second degree, and sometimes even third degree burns due to hot soups. Got to get the soup off you super quick. And then thereafter, it's already caused the damage. So a lot of different like home remedies come into the emergency department with like things on top of a burn. And I'm like, what is this? But at the end of the day, once the burn has already like happened, there's not much to do. Just letting your body fix itself. So holy cow, these people are so darn lucky. But obviously just be careful being aware of your surroundings. That way you can assess your risk. So if you guys enjoyed this, definitely check out this playlist right here. And as always, please make sure you subscribe, turn your bell notifications on, and hit that like button for me. Thank you so much for watching and stay healthy, my friends.